Anyway, anybody in relationships? Applause?
Yeah.
Those are the happy ones. Those are just like sitting on their hands. Before we get home, we'll have this discussion. No, I was in a relationship one time, and it's one thing I always hear from a lady is that she says, I shouldn't have to tell you. You should already know. And I said, wow, wouldn't that be really cool if we could just communicate telepathically? I could just stand here for like 10 minutes and you guys would be able to read my thoughts. But there's people that are intentionally in denial about things in reality. That's the new killer whale trainer at SeaWorld that thinks they have job security. That person is in denial. But I started thinking, what is it that sets me off? What would cause me to have a meltdown? Of course, I wouldn't do anything violent, but what is it that puts you right at that point where you're so close to just snapping? One thing that bothers me is sidewalk spitters. People that spit on the sidewalk. I used to work at this place, and during break time, I like to socialize with smokers, and I'm not a smoker, but they were spitting on the sidewalk. They had to send a memo out saying, please don't spit on the sidewalk. I find I had to go walking around playing hopscotch, because I don't want to step on the wet spot. So I'm not a hopscotch kind of guy. So that upset me to the point to where I wanted to tell some of these sidewalk spitters, look, I don't want to step on your secondhand spit. So please swallow your secondhand spit. What it would be like if we could read, if you could read my mind. If you could read my mind, you probably know that I don't like it when people are panhandling their birthdays. Folks that do that, they're promoting ahead of time, I got a birthday coming up next week. Yeah. I never been to Hawaii. My car is in the shop. And I've been laid off. Oh, I know you're laid off too, David, but you got a week to figure something out. We'll be good with our relationship. Ugly people. I fall in that category. For some reason, I never like my pictures that I take. And I started thinking, no matter what type of pictures, how many pictures I take, I never like my pictures. It must be me. Gum poppers, people that pop their gum. Just pop, 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 pop. And they're doing it for attention. And to the people popping their gum, I mean, that'll cause somebody to flip out one day, In my mind, I wanted to just take some bubble wrap. Any warehouse workers out there, you get some bubble wrap. I want to take some bubble wrap and just like wrap their face up in it, I don't want to hurt them, don't want to kill them or anything like that. You poke a hole in their nose so they can breathe in their mouth, but I just want to bubble wrap their face so they stop making that popping sound. With gold diggers, I'm a single dude, and so there's at some point at some juncture in a relationship with the lady, you go, this woman is a gold digger. And usually it's like she likes to shop. And she, let's go shopping. All right, let's go shopping. But she started asking, I always get this question, is this cute? Is this cute? Is this? If she could read my mind, she would know that I think it's cute if she's paying for it. If I'm paying for it, it's ugly. And read my mind. Other folks, those would be drunk karaoke singers who suck. And they think they sound good. And when you applaud, just to be nice, just so they'll go sit down and shut up, right? They think you want them to sing another song and they keep going. Have you ever had somebody drive you crazy smacking? I worked at this place. This lady was sitting right next to me all the time. She would just like, she had candy every day about 3 o'clock. She'd take out the candy and she just, in my mind, it was bothering me to the point where I wanted to get some crazy glue and just put it in her candy so she'd like keep her mouth shut. Folks that are, I don't know, you ever seen people making out in public? I mean, just getting it on. It's like, it's like, you in your mind you're going to get a room. But if you could read my mind, you would know that I think that when people make out in public, it's like food. It's like good food. If you got enough, you know, to go around and share, go ahead, go for it, you know. If you got a fine, foxy lady you're making, I'll be the first one in line, you know, when you're done. But if you don't have enough to share, just don't even do it at all. If you could read my mind.
Fat women who want to pick a fight with you and they ask you if the dress is too small on them or if they look too fat in the dress, well, guys, you know, we can, if the person is close to us, we can take the fifth, right? You know, just act like we don't know or anything. Or we can just be brutally honest, right? After you had that six-pack and you just say, you know what? You know, hell yeah, you look fat in that dress. Even Stevie Wonder can see that you're fat in that dress.
Okay, you ever burn your tongue? Tongue burn. What's the opposite of sunburn? Tongue burn. I burned my tongue with some coffee one time, some hot stuff, and you walk around. Look what I'm talking like this. You know, you gotta explain to people, you know, I'm not retarded. I'm not retarded. I burn my tongue, and I can't talk right. I burn my tongue. I don't like it. In fact, I'm really upset because I'm hungry, and I can't taste my food. Yeah, tongue burn. I think they should have handrails at crosswalks for women with high heels, especially. I was at the club. I was downtown, you know, in the party district last weekend, and you know how the light starts to change, like 5, 4, 3. This lady, she was with all the girls. You know, they were walking across the street, and the countdown was going on. So you know, they started to hustle. And she was just, you know, she was defying the laws of nature. The heels were too high. They were like stilts. We should really visibly having a hard time. And I just see it 5, 4, and it was just like, oh, timber, baby, timber. Oh, and she fell in like a forest of her friends. You know, they didn't even like help her up. They just kind of got out the way, and she just, you know. But she got out the way before the traffic started going. So if you could read my mind, you would know that, you know, ladies, you don't have to have the heels so high. You know, we like you short, we like you tall, just like you, period.
There was an earthquake. There was an earthquake, and I just have to be real with you. They said the earthquake in Chile almost caused a tsunami that would have come here in Portland. Come here now. I'm not a good swimmer. I'm not a good swimmer. In fact, if this room were to fill up with water because there was an earthquake somewhere and there's a tsunami, I would have to embrace reality, and I'd have to grab one of my audience members as a flotation device. Somebody's got to live to tell the story. It might as well be me.
I had a situation where I had a lady, another time I almost had a meltdown. This woman I was in a relationship with, she had a lip fetish. She liked my lips. I got big lips, all right? She liked my lips. She liked my lips so much she would like to strum it like a guitar. That was foreplay. That was considered foreplay for her to, you know, strum my lips. You know, near the end of the relationship, it got kind of aggravating actually. You know, I had to tell her, you know, look, sweetie, can we cut this foreplay down to maybe like 1 or 2 plays? 'Cause my lips are getting tired, you know. In fact, you know, if you don't stop strumming my lips, you know, my teeth just might decide to bite your fingers. When I see kids, you ever see kids that are tethered on a leash? Question in my mind, if you could read my mind, does that make them act more like an animal or less like an animal?
And this dude, he lives in Clackamas County, and he doesn't like the police. In fact, he protests the police by flipping his middle finger at the police. Now, some of you guys, you guys like, you know, okay, whatever, you know, that, of course that would get me like shot, you know, everywhere, you know. But he embraces that as his protest against the police, and I think that, you know, yeah, if you want to do that, fine. But look, if you get caught doing that, you got to embrace reality. And here's a couple of things that, first of all, if it were me, you know, I would apologize. And then the second thing I would do is I would blame it on the alcohol. I would blame it on the alcohol. That's what I would do. You ever been to the casino?
have a meltdown at the casino. There's driving or flying to the casino. You have all these hopes and dreams of being rich. And what normally happens, you end up driving or flying from the casino broke, right? And then what happens when you're broke? You still play. In fact, when you're coming back, whoever that significant other you're with, you start playing the blame game, right? On the way back home, yeah, you start playing the blame game. Why didn't you stop gambling? Why didn't you stop? I think you have a problem. You know, you were ahead. You should have stopped. You know, why didn't you stop playing while you were ahead? I didn't stop playing while I was ahead because I was trying to win back the money that you lost in the first place. Yeah, you start going back and forth. You can read my mind. With technology and everything we have right now, I think parents need as much help and support as possible. It's hard to be there, and we know many times kids will act out, and then when they, come time to parent-teacher conference, the kid didn't do anything wrong and everything like that. I think to get the scores up and everything, we need to have surveillance, video surveillance. We need to have like tribunals right there on the spot. Child protective services, administrators, videotaping disruptive behavior. And then also giving parents the authority to authorize discipline right there on the spot. There should be two categories. One should be a la carte spanking or full meal deal ass whipping. We'll give a choice to the parent. The parent will decide via text. Simple thing. They can stay at work, not miss time, and boom, take care of it. Nip it in the bud. If you could read my mind. You ever been to a public restroom? I avoid public restrooms at all costs, but there's one time I had to do number 2. I had to go really bad, and you like to go in there where there's nobody, when there's nobody in there, ideally so it's just you, but you got to stall to your right, stall to your left. So I go in there, trying to get out as quick as possible, and I'm almost done, so I go to tear out the toilet paper, and they got that cheap toilet paper. That cheap toilet paper, you tear it off and it gives you a little square, you go, what? Wait a minute. They got it spun and wrapped so tight. They got glue on there or something. You got to pull them off one at a time. 31, 32, 33. And you pull them off. And just before you get enough to, finish and get out of there, somebody comes in the stall next to you. Right? A person that's like moaning and groaning and making all this noise. Like, you want to just almost have a meltdown. You want to say, look, hey, if you don't stop making all that noise, I'm going to call 911. I'm going to tell them you killed somebody and you chopping up a body and you burying it down in the toilet. All right? That's what it smells like in there. You got a dead carcass. You would know that I'm a laundry procrastinator. Anybody procrastinate doing the laundry? I got several piles at home right now. But when I get through the laundry and I start working through it and I'm finally done, it's usually like late in the evening. And I got washed and dried clothes, and they're on my bed. And I found out that I've got a new mattress full of clothes. And at night, I start multitasking. I fall asleep on top of the clothes, and just like a rolling pin. I roll across and trying to press them out a little bit. Patients, we have good people and we got bad people. Especially, but we know it more when the person has, when the occupation has power. The occupation of the police. We got good guys, good cops, we got bad cops. I wonder, if you could read my mind, I would wonder if the bad cops, if they have this inner voice in their head that sounds like this. Yeah! In my mind, you would wonder that, you ever have it where your stomach is growling because you're hungry? Yeah. Right? And you're with somebody, date or somebody like that, and you don't want them to think you're farting. And so you announce a disclaimer, it's my stomach is growling. Sounds coming from here, not back here. When I think about dying all the time. I think about mortality and dying and everything like that. And if you could read my mind, there's several ways that I could die. Several ways we could die. But one way I don't want to die as food. My worst fear would be that, it'd be like, hey, where's David? We haven't seen him in a while. Oh man, no, he didn't make it. Well, what happened? Well, he was at the zoo. he had on this new cologne he was trying out. It's called Fresh Meat. And this lion just drove this lion crazy. Just jumped over, cleared the bars, raped him, and ate him. And now we're waiting for the lion to crap out the remains so we can put David in the landfill. I'm David Little. Thank you very much for listening.